and death shall have no dominion. Dead men naked they shall be one with the man in the wind and the west moon. When their bones are picked clean and the clean bones gone, they shall have stars at elbow and foot. Though they go mad, they shall be sane. Though they sink through the sea, they shall rise again. Though lovers be lost, love shall not, and death shall have no dominion. And death shall have no dominion. Under the windings of the sea, they lying long shall not die windily, twisting on racks when sinews give way, strapped to a wheel, yet they shall not break. Faith in their hand shall snap in two, and the unicorn evils run them through. Split all ends up, they shan't crack, and death shall have no dominion. And death shall have no dominion. No more may gulls cry at their ears, or waves break loud on the seashores. Where bluer flower may flower no more, lift its head to the blows of the rain. Though they be mad and dead as nails, heads of the characters hammer through daisies. Break in the sun till the sun breaks down, and death shall have no dominion. 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 Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Though wise men at their end know dark is right, because their words had forked no lightning, they do not go gentle into that good night. Good men the last wave by, crying how bright their frail deeds might have danced in a green bay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Wild men who caught and sang the sun in flight, and learned too late they grieved it on its way. Do not go gentle into that good night. Grave men near death, who see with blinding sight, blind eyes could blaze like meteors and be gay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. And you, my father, there on the sad height, curse, bless me now with your fierce tears, I pray. Do not go gentle into that good night. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. In the mustard seed sun, by full tilt river and switchback sea where the cormorants scud. In his house on stilts high among beaks and palavers of birds. This sand-grain day in the bent bay's grave, he celebrates and spurns his driftwood 35th wind-turned age. Heron, spire, and spear. Under and round him go flounders, gulls, on their cold, dying trails, doing what they are told. Curlews aloud in the congered waves work at their ways to death, and the rhymer in the long-tongued room who tolls his birthday bell toils towards the ambush of his wounds. Herons, steeple-stemmed, blessed. In the thistledown fall, he sings towards anguish. Finches fly in the claw tracks of hawks on a seizing sky. Small fishes glide through wines and shells of drowned ship towns to pastures of otters. He in his slumped, racking house and the hewn coils of his trade perceives herons walk in their shroud. The livelong river's robe of minnows wreathing around their prayer. And far at sea he knows who slaves to his crouched eternal end under a serpent cloud. Dolphins dive in their turtle dust, the rippled seals streak down to kill, and their own tide-daubing blood slides good in the sleek mouth. In a cavernous swung wave silence wept white Angelus knells. 35 bells sing struck on skull and scar where his loves lie wrecked, steered by the falling stars. And tomorrow weeps in a blind cage, terror will rage apart before chains break to a hammer flame and love unbolts the dark, and freely he goes lost in the unknown, famous light of great and fabulous, dear God. Dark is a way and light is a place, heaven that never was, nor will be ever, is always true. And in that brambled void, plenty as blackberries in the woods, the dead grow for his joy. There he might wander bare with the spirits of the horseshoe bay, or the stars, seashore dead, marrow of eagles, the roots of whales, and wishbones of wild geese, with blessed unborn God and his ghost, and every soul his priest, gulled and chanter in young heaven's fold, be at cloud-quaking peace. But dark is a long way. He on the earth of the night alone, with all the living praise, who knows the rocketing wind will blow the bones out of the hills, and the scythed boulders bleed, and the last rage-shattered waters kick masts and fishers to the still quick stars, faithlessly unto him who is the light of old and air-shaped heaven, where souls grow wild as horses in the foam. Oh, let me midlife mourn by the shrined and druid heron's vows. The voyage to ruin I must run, dawn ships clouted aground. Yet, though I cry with tumble-down tongue, count my blessings aloud, 4 elements and 5 senses, and man a spirit in love, tangling through this spun slime, to his nimbus bell-cool kingdom come, and the lost moonshine domes, and the sea that hides his secret selves deep in its black base bones, lulling of spheres in the seashell flesh, and this last blessing most, that the closer I move to death, one man through his sundered hulks, the louder the sun blooms, and the tusked ramshackling sea exults, and every wave of the way and gale I tackle the whole world then with more triumphant faith than ever was since the world was said, spins its morning of praise. I hear the bouncing hills grow locked and greener at berry brown fall, and the dewlark sing taller this thunderclap spring, and how moss-band with angels ride the man-souled fiery islands. Oh, holier than their eyes, and my shining men no more alone as I sail out to die. Now as I was young and easy under the apple boughs about the lilting house, and happy as the grass was green, the night above the dingle starry, time let me hail and climb, golden in the heydays of his eyes. And honored among wagons I was prince of the apple towns, and once below a time I lordly had the trees and leaves trail with daisies and barley down the rivers of the windfall light. And as I was green and carefree, famous among the barns about the happy yard, and singing as the farm was home in the sun that is young once only, time let me play and be golden in the mercy of his means. And green and golden I was huntsman and herdsman, the calves sang to my horn, the foxes on the hills barked clear and cold, and the Sabbath rang slowly in the pebbles of the holy streams. All the sun long it was running, it was lovely, the hay fields high as the house, the tunes from the chimneys. It was air and playing, lovely and watery, and fire green as grass. And nightly under the simple stars, as I rode to sleep, the owls were bearing the farm away. All the moon long I heard, blessed among stables, the night jars flying with the ricks, and the horses flashing into the dark. And then to awake, and the farm like a wanderer white with the dew come back, the cock on his shoulder, It was all shining, it was Adam and maiden, the sky gathered again, and the sun grew round that very day. So it must have been after the birth of the simple light in the first spinning place, the spellbound horses walking warm out of the whinnying green stable onto the fields of praise. And honored among foxes and pheasants by the gay house under the new-made clouds, and happy as the heart was long in the sun born over and over, I ran my heedless ways. My wishes raced through the house-high hay, and nothing I cared at my sky-blue trades that time allows in all his tuneful turning, so few and such morning songs before the children green and golden follow him out of grace. Nothing I cared in the lamb-white days that time would take me up to the swallow-thronged loft by the shadow of my hand in the moon that is always rising, nor that riding to sleep I should hear him fly with the high fields and wake to the farm forever fled from the childless land. Oh, as I was young and easy in the mercy of his means, time held me green and dying, though I sang in my chains like the sea. The hunchback in the park, a solitary mister propped between trees and water, from the opening of the garden lock that let the trees and water enter, until the Sunday somber bell at dark. Eating bread from a newspaper, drinking water from the chained cup that the children filled with gravel in the fountain basin where I sailed my ship. Slept at night in a dog kennel, but nobody chained him up. Like the park birds he came early, like the water he sat down, and mister they called, hey mister, the truant boys from the town, running when he had heard them clearly, on out of sound, past lake and rockery, laughing when he shook his paper, hunchbacked in mockery, through the loud zoo of the willow groves, dodging the park keeper with his stick that picked up leaves. And the old dog sleeper, alone between nurses and swans, while the boys among willows made the tiger jump out of their eyes to roar on the rockery stones, and the groves were blue with sailors. Made all day until bell time, a woman figure without fault, straight as a young elm, straight and tall from his crooked bones, that she might stand in the night after the locks and chains, all night in the unmade park, after the railings and shrubberies, the birds, the grass, the trees, the lake, had followed the hunchback and the wild boys innocent as strawberries to his kennel in the dark.
It was my 30th year to heaven, woke to my hearing from harbour and neighbourwood, and the mussel pooled and the heron priested shore. The morning beckon with water praying and call of seagull and rook, and the knock of sailing boats on the net-webbed wall. Myself to set foot that second in the still sleeping town and set forth. My birthday began with the water birds, and the birds of the winged trees flying my name above the farms and the white horses. And I rose in rainy autumn and walked abroad in a shower of all my days. High tide and the heron died when I took the road over the border, and the gates of the town closed as the town awoke. A springful of larks in a rolling cloud, and the roadside bushes brimming with whistling blackbirds, and the sun of October summery on the hill's shoulder. Here were fond climates and sweet singers suddenly come in the morning, where I wandered and listened to the rain-ringing wind blow cold in the wood far away under me. Pale rain over the dwindling harbour, and over the sea-wet church the size of a snail with its horns full mist, and the castle brown as owls. But all the gardens of spring and summer were blooming the tall tales beyond the border and under the lark-full cloud. There would I marvel my birthday away, but the weather turned around. It turned away from the blithe country, and down the other air and the blue-altered sky streamed again a wonder of summer with apples, pears, and red currants. And I saw in the turning so clearly a child's forgotten mornings when he walked with his mother through the parables of sunlight and the legends of the green chapels and the twice-told fields of infancy, that his tears burned my cheeks and his heart moved in mine. These were the woods, the river and sea, where a boy, in the listening summertime of the dead, whispered the truth of his joy to the trees and the stones and the fish in the tide. And the mystery sang alive, still in the water and singing birds. And there could I marvel my birthday away, but the weather turned around, and the true joy of the long-dead child sang burning in the sun. It was my 30th year to heaven, stood there then in the summer noon, where the town below lay leaved with October blood. Oh, may my heart's truth still be sung on this high hill in a year's turning.
Should lanterns shine, the holy face, caught in an octagon of unaccustomed light, would wither up, and any boy of love look twice before he fell from grace. The features in their private dark are formed of flesh, but let the false day come, and from her lips the faded pigments fall. The mummy cloths expose an ancient breast. I have been told to reason by the heart, but heart, like head, leads helplessly. I have been told to reason by the pulse, and when it quickens, alter the action's pace, till field and roof lie level and the same. So fast I move, defying time, the quiet gentleman whose beard wags in Egyptian wind. I have heard many years of telling, and many years should see some change. The ball I threw while playing in the park has not yet reached the ground.